And after months of threats and pressure tactics, United States bombed Venezuela, toppled its leader Nicolás Maduro, and taken over the country. Maduro and his wife are now in U.S. custody. Donald Trump has once again warned the interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, that if Venezuela does not behave, then U.S. will strike again, and Rodriguez will face a fate worse than Maduro if she does not go along with the U.S. Trump also made it clear that U.S. was in charge in Venezuela. But U.S. takeover of Venezuela's oil sector could stage major gains for India. It can help unlock nearly $1 billion stuck as unpaid dues to Indian firms and revive oil production in Venezuelan fields operated by India. The new supply option would reduce dependence on oil from Russia and West Asia.
The next question is who's in charge of Venezuela right now. Have you spoken to the newly sworn-in president there, Rodriguez? And what are your thoughts on the entire situation? You said the U.S. would run Venezuela.
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
We're in charge.
And my colleague Rohit Sharma continues to stay with us from Washington. Rohit, though United States claimed that this was an operation and not invasion, but Donald Trump's remark that U.S. is now in charge in Venezuela and him warning Delcy Rodriguez, the interim president, that she must do what the U.S. feels is right. What does that signify? Has the U.S. taken over Venezuela, and will the U.S. now be controlling Venezuela?
Well, I think President Trump made it clear yesterday that U.S. would be essentially calling shots when it comes to policy and running policy in Venezuela. I think that's exactly what Marco Rubio said, that the United States will be running policy. What that means essentially means that the interim government, which is now led by President Rodriguez, should be following the guidance from Washington, and I'm using that word, with full understanding what it could mean or it could not mean, but essentially making sure that President Trump and his ideas and the American ideas around what Venezuela should do in terms of securing Western Hemisphere should be taken into account. The fact that they want to ensure that there's no Russian or Chinese influence in the Western Hemisphere, something both the leaders alluded to in their press briefings, and the fact that there's a big demand of oil. And America thinks that the Venezuelan government, the previous one, or this existing Maduro regime, has not been able to do justice to the oil reserves that they have. So American companies can go in there, build the infrastructure, and possibly, make sure that Venezuelans also get share of those profits. So I think that's kind of what we've heard over 2 days since the removal of Maduro. President Trump saying that he doesn't want to say more because anything he say could be controversial. But essentially, I think Marco Rubio has laid it out that he would be willing to work, and he is going to work with President Rodriguez now, or former Vice President Rodriguez of Venezuela, to ensure that the U.S. Interests are taken care of, and then in some time, in which again a timeline that would be dictated by the United States, there will be elections in Venezuela, but they're not ready as of yet. So I think that's what both the leaders are saying, and because if President Trump says more than that, I think that again would be controversial. So they're playing it down. But the bottom line is that America wants a leader that can work with America and ensure that the nation of Venezuela is in a way controlled by whatever is decided in Washington, D.C.
All right, Rohit, thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this. So Donald Trump has claimed that U.S. is now in charge of Venezuela and that the leader of Venezuela must do what the U.S. feels is right. Let us also take a look at what does this takeover of the United States of Venezuela mean for India. Now, it's like a jackpot for India, as India could now recover $1 billion stuck in Venezuelan oil payments. Now, Indian firms like ONGC Videsh can also restart stalled oil field operations, and these Venezuelan oil exports may resume providing new crude supplies. Now, the production at Venezuelan oil field of up to 1 lakh barrels per day is also now possible. And because of this takeover, now there will be reduced dependence on oil from Russia and Middle East for India. And in fact, there will be more supply options to boost India's energy security. So that's what it essentially means for India, this takeover of Venezuela by the United States. This is like India hitting a jackpot as far as oil supply is concerned. And there will be lesser dependence also on oil from Russia and Middle East, which is a key point.